5 tough guys you can catch right now on Now TV. Okay, Mark Wahlberg, not necessarily the first guy you think of when it comes to tough guys, but he's got total street cred because he went to prison when he was really young and came out and made good. Similar to his character in Contraband, this movie is kind of like a gritty Gone in 60 Seconds because it's about a reformed criminal who is the best of the best and has to go back into crime to save family. Except it's Marky Mark instead of Nick Cage, counterfeit money instead of cars, Kate Beckinsale instead of Angie, and this time Ribisi's the bad guy. It mostly takes place on a cargo ship where Mark shows that he's the smartest smuggler around because he remembers 10th grade science and knows how to cut keys, which just goes to prove that sometimes being able to kick butt doesn't cut it. You need to have special skills. Speaking of special skills, here's skydiving, snowboarding, car wrecking Vin Diesel in XXX, who's kind of like 007, except he's a muscly American with no hair and no Secret Service experience. But that's okay, because Sam Jackson thinks he's the right guy for the job.
I think it's our best shot.
Mostly because he doesn't look like an agent, and apparently that's why Russians keep killing the NSA. Because they don't look like Vin Diesel.
The things I'm gonna do for my country.
And since he can spot a fake coffee shop heist and escape a Colombian drug lord, you know he's gonna rule in Prague, which incidentally is not Russia, but that's where the bad Russians are. With Bond-like villains, girls, and gadgets, XXX is definitely worthy of a movie franchise, although I'm pretty sure Bond never rocked a fur coat like this. Speaking of worthy, here's mega Oscar-winning Daniel Day-Lewis, who deserves another award for putting up with Cameron's Irish accent in Gangs of New York.
You'll have to filch me a new one, Bill.
This movie sounds like it's gonna be about the mafia, but actually it's about the Irish in the 1800s. And although there's loads of gangs with funny names like
There's the Plug Uglies, the Slaughterhousers, and the Broadway Twisters.
it really comes down to two: the natives born in America versus the dead rabbits who are Irish, born in Ireland. It's hard to tell them apart, so the natives wear really tall hats. Although I think it's partly to cover up some really greasy hair. DDL plays Bill the Butcher, a truly scary guy. Not only because he throws knives and he's actually a butcher, but because he kills Leo DiCaprio's father, Liam Neeson, who, let's face it, is a pretty tough guy himself. As proven in The Grey, when Liam Neeson does the only thing a tough guy can do when your wife leaves you: move to Alaska and work on the oil rigs. At first you think this movie's about a bunch of guys who survive a plane crash in the Arctic, but actually it's a tale of man against beast, as Liam tries to save this pack of animals from this one. He keeps having this dream where his wife tells him, "Don't be afraid," which is pretty strange advice to give someone being hunted by wolves. But since he's a survival expert and respects the wolves and understands the wolves, and kind of looks like a wolf, it serves him well as he runs around in the wild. Which Sly Stallone perfected in First Blood. This movie is the first time that we meet Rambo, a Bajikiti war vet who just came back from Vietnam. Although instead of being chased by a pack of wolves, it's a bunch of cops who are really unfriendly when he comes into town with a knife that literally cuts paper. And although subsequent Rambos are really bloody and violent, in this movie, he really doesn't kill anybody, except for maybe this guy who falls from a helicopter. But he could have easily just lost his footing. He does escape from the police station, run by that guy that was a detective on that show, and that other guy who was a cop in all the movies. Rambo is so tough that the police, the National Guard, and even his old captain can't catch him, even though the only thing that's at his disposal is the weapons he makes from trees. And even when you compare it to the wolf hunting, the butchery, the high school chemistry, and whatever skill this is, Rambo proves that the ultimate tough guy's special skill is the ability to whittle wood. You can catch all 5 of these movies in the Tough Guy collection, available on Now TV.